Phil Housley is third in defense scoring in these playoffs. To Kessmer, and Housley takes the return feed. This Saddledome crowd urging on their Flames right from this opening faceoff. In back of the goal, Stern got it around the T-top. Takes a bump. Stern got it to Reichel. He flips it into the corner. Bird's taken by Jason Moore. He had the hit put on by Stern to the line, but not out. Ronnie Stern against Jason Moore. Stern wheeling out into the slot. Put the shot into the corner. Put San Jose on it quickly as Baker, and with the deflection, it goes to center.
You might notice that Dave King has not had Joe Nieuwendyk or Theoren Fleury out on the ice so far in this hockey game. He starts his big, strong forwards. He wants his muckers up front to lay the body on the Sharks early.
At the line, and it's onside as it's kept in the zone. This is Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk still with that puck. The Calgary captain back to the point, but tipped by Whitney all the way back into the Flame zone, and Trevor Kidd will tee it up. Left it in the corner. Chason couldn't get to it. Then Whitney lost it. And Nieuwendyk gets it ahead to Zalapski, who shoots one in. Up front is Sullivan along with Fleury. Flaherty, who plays that puck better than Hervé, didn't on that occasion. Nieuwendyk toward the goal, tipped wide. Then Fleury took a bump. He was run into by Ozelich. Fleury gets the puck back. Side of the goal, into the slot. Puck is loose. They can't get a shot away. Turn. Great save by Flaherty, and he's able to hang on for the faceoff. Now with a Stanley Cup update, here's Ron McLean.
Okay, Ken, thanks very much. We're showing you a highlight from the Kiel Center in St. Louis. Vancouver Canucks up their lead to 4-1 early in the second period. That's Cliff Roning's third of the postseason from Russ Portnoy.
Let's take a look at that last save. Theo Fleury is going to get the opportunity to tee one up right from the hash mark in the first test for Wade Flaherty in this hockey game, and he comes up big. I actually think that puck hits Mike Sullivan in the midsection and then bounces right down to Flaherty. Look at the good challenge by the goalkeeper out to the top of the crease, and he manages to corral the rebound. So important in a big game for the goaltenders to take those whistles, especially early on.
Joel Otto up front along with Sheldon Kennedy and Paul Cruz. Right off the draw, Moore. Quick outlet pass for Friesen, and the return feed up the boards. But Frank Musil had backed up and shoots one in. But we have a stoppage in play.
Let's have a look at that San Jose Shark bench. Drew Minder, you might notice, down there on the bench once more for the Sharks. Very superstitious club. Normally he's up top, but they won last game, so they're going with him down low again. Take a look at the lineups. You might notice one forward missing for the Sharks. They have elected to go with 7 defensemen because Tom Peterson, remember, is nursing that sore back. They've got Vlastimil Krupa waiting in the wings.
Krupa played a pretty good game in game number 6-2 for San Jose. Called up from Kansas City, the IHL. In across the line, but offside, so we'll have a face-off coming up in neutral ice. We've seen the lineup for the San Jose Sharks. Let's look at how Dave King has his lineup set tonight for the Calgary Flames.
No surprises for the Flames up front. They're getting healthier as the playoffs go on, and that's unusual for most teams. Take a look at the defense pairings right now. You'll notice that Dan Kesner is back in the lineup. Now, he was questionable for tonight's game, and they thought that maybe Dahl would be inserted, but Kesner says he is fit and ready to go.
Dan Kesmer had a sore hand, but he is okay as James Patrick brings it to center. Shooting one ahead. Cruz in there quickly. Gets some snow up in the face of Wade Flaherty as he's knocked to the ice. We're scoreless, 16:49 to go in the first.
Jimmy Kite has been very physical in this series for the San Jose Sharks. The way he has to play to be successful. He gets a good bump early on Paul Cruz as he's standing around harassing Wade Flaherty a little bit.
You never liked that when the snow came up in your face as a goalie, did you?
I got a lot yappier when Jim Kite was out there in front of me.
Right from the draw, Zalapski's shot is stopped by Flaherty. And up the boards and out to center and cleared back in, but quickly Krupa got it up the wing and in across the line. Falloon, he's bumped hard by Zalapski. Janney, 2-goal scorer from Wednesday night, was waiting for that puck to come loose. It didn't, but Calgary will bring it to center. Ronnie Stern takes the feed on the left wing. Reichel in the high slot, shot in. Flaherty kicked it away as Titov was gunning for the rebound. Puck on the back of the net. Harry Fraser let it go as it's taken by Baker and cleared out to center. Reichel will shoot it right back in. Tom Peterson around to Lastimil Krupa. Got it up the boards as Janney took a hard hit from Ronnie Stern as he heads to the bench, and Trevor Kidd will lead the rush to center as the Flames were also changing. Jim Kite. Here's Larionov. Larionov shooting. Trevor Kidd made the save. Larionov on the rebound. It deflects up into the seats.
Alrighty.
Play just underway as it's taken by Calgary, back of Trevor Kidd. Housley on the boards, not out. Jason Moore able to hold it in. He's bumped by Sullivan. Now Housley will lead the rush to Nieuwendyk. Fleury goes for the front of the net. Housley the drop pass. His shot is blocked. Ray Whitney will get the puck to center, but Housley gets back to block him. Dave King thought last game perhaps too many of the Flames defensemen were thinking about offense rather than defense, and Phil Housley's name certainly stood out in that category.
And you got the sense on that last rush that Housley was chomping on the bit to really jump up into the play, but he held himself back a little bit. Perhaps that's why his shot ended up getting blocked.
Big Mike Rathje, Manville, Alberta native, got it out to center, cleared right back in by Patrick.
Certainly both coaches want their players to err on the conservative side tonight.
Sheldon Kennedy's shot is grabbed with no harm done by Wade Flaherty, with big Joel Otto right there in his goal crease, so we'll have a face-off coming up to his left.
Sheldon Kennedy is a guy who's had himself a fine series. If you go back to game one, you remember he took that very undisciplined penalty and really snuffed out any opportunity for Calgary to get back into that hockey game. Since that time, he has stayed very poised and very calm. You notice he's not using the visor tonight. Tough to see if those Sharks can get at that nose and those stitches with a little bit of a face wash after the whistle and make things tough for Sheldon Kennedy. He's one tough character.
Of course, he had that big collision along with Arthur Zerbain, was cut for 16 stitches. Robert Reichel on this face-off against Jamie Baker. Linesman Wayne Bonney didn't like the way they were setting up, so Baker is out. Janney comes in. San Jose up the boards, but can they control it? Getting it ahead to Baker to Rathje. Rathje gets the trailer. Janney across the line to the trailer. Baker, his shot deflected high over top of the net. Janney went to knock it in front. Janney takes the return feed back of the goal, squeezed out of the play, and Steve Chason relieves the pressure. This will be icing as Sandis Ozolinsh is back to touch the puck.
The Sharks get a good burst of speed up through the middle the first time that Craig Janney is able to carry that puck. Janney, of course, well, he's a passer, and watch as he enters the Calgary zone. He's going to make a nice little drop pass right here, but look at the hit that's put on. A good sliding block by Steve Chason, and he follows through and finishes the check on Janney, and that's what you have to do against Craig Janney. You have to deny him the puck whenever possible, and when he gets it, you got to take away his time.
He wasn't even making the great passes prior to his 2-goal effort the other night, but obviously playing with a lot more confidence. Hansel, Dahlin, and Friesen against the line of Joel Otto, along with Cruz, who has the puck, and Sheldon Kennedy, who goes in after it. Flaherty out of the goal to play it. Got it up the boards. Much more confidence with Flaherty shooting that puck out as it came back in offside than the Sharks have with Arthur Zerbain.
Dave King was very relaxed prior to tonight's game. Of course, he had his club staying in the hotel again last night.
But they changed hotels.
They changed hotels, but they were still accomplishing what they were trying to do, and that was to create that road atmosphere and to try and shield the players from, I guess, the fans and the media prior to this huge game. And again, it just re-emphasizes that the players really need to focus on nothing except hockey. I think it's a good move.
Of course, they did back in Game 5 and came up with a 5-0 win. Joel Otto back in the net along with Kennedy. Kennedy takes the puck, throws in front. Sheldon Kennedy trying to work it. He's tied up by Vlastimil Krupa. Puck comes loose to Otto. Otto got the shot through. That's kicked away by Wade Flaherty. Otto back in the goal. Otto trying to stuff it in. Side of the goal. Flaherty, though, able to hang on as Joel Otto, the big man for Calgary, got a couple of whacks at it, but Flaherty stood his ground.
You know, whenever Tom Peterson and Vlastimil Krupa are paired out on the ice together for the San Jose Sharks, they are going to be vulnerable to exactly that type of play. And it's a good read by Joel Otto to recognize who he's faced up against, because he takes that puck and he's going to try and walk right out in front. Let's pick it up right from the face-off. Flames know they got two small defensemen out there, so they want to get that puck in deep. And Joel Otto is going to recognize that it's Peterson and Krupa, and watch him take that puck right into the crease. That is how you're going to win games come playoff time. Good shift for Calgary. They really do a good job keeping that puck down low and working those Shark defensemen. Watch Otto right here. He's going to take that puck strong to the goal.
Joe Nieuwendyk on the draw against Jamie Baker. Fleury up there along with Ronnie Stern. Otto, Nieuwendyk won the draw. Housley's shot goes wide. Kesmer pinching in, but tip past him out to center. Housley's there to knock it ahead. Janney steals. Being hooked by Joe Nieuwendyk. Janney into the slot. Baker and Falloon almost got a shot away. In back of the goal, Janney held up by Housley. Janney, though, looking to kick, and he does! Falloon scores! What a play by Janney to get it in front to Falloon, and it's 1-0 San Jose.
Pat Falloon has been quiet in this series on the goal-scoring sheet. Not so right here. Remember, Janney was the guy that the Sharks picked up specifically to find someone who could get that puck to Falloon. Nice little kick pass right onto the tape, and Falloon does not stop that puck. He actually snaps the one-timer in behind Trevor Kidd. Does not allow the goalkeeper time to get set up and react to the pass. Falloon wastes no time, puts it in the right spot.
Well, if you're Housley, you couldn't have tied him up much better than he did. But for Pat Falloon, he had just 15 shots in this series, 7 shots in Game 2. Been relatively quiet, but that's his second goal from Janney and Baker at 6:50, 1-0 Sharks.
And for the second consecutive game, the Sharks get on the board first.
Here's Joe Nieuwendyk into the corner. Jim Kite watching him. Nieuwendyk on it again. Got it through to Stern. Stern working free from Jason Moore. Stern in front of the goal. Nieuwendyk banging away. Fleury into the corner to Nieuwendyk. Tight on him as Fleury is taken out of the play as Moore is all over him, just like he was in game number 6. And Fleury bumping into Ray Whitney, who takes an elbow from Ronnie Stern as they mix it up. Housley skates away from Makarov. Up the left wing side and across the line. Calgary couldn't do anything with it, and it's Larry Onoff. Up with Makarov and Whitney. Off of Whitney's skate, didn't expect the pass, and Joel Otto with Kennedy. Otto goes to the front of the net. Flaherty kicks it to the corner, then a big collision back there along with Rathje, Kennedy, and Otto. Kicked in front of the goal. Larry Onoff gets it ahead to Ray Whitney. 3 Sharks to center. Ozelinch on the rush with Makarov as San Jose changes. Makarov notices that. He heads to the bench and just clips one to safety.
It's a good discipline play by Makarov to get that puck in deep.
San Jose can't center that puck back of the goal. Kennedy's there with Dolan giving chase. Ozelinch able to keep it in. Got it to Alf Dolan. Freezing in front of the goal. Dolan looking to stuff it in. Side of the goal. Puck still loose. Taken by Frank Musil, who lifts one high and out to center as Paul Cruz goes after it along with Rathje. No icing.
Tell you what, every time that Alf Dolan gets a hold of the puck down low, he is so dangerous, so strong on the skates, he takes everything right into the goal crease.
Here's Dolan with that puck. Couldn't get it into the zone as it hits the linesman, Brian Murphy. San Jose in a second attempt will get it in as the Sharks make a change. Now Kissio comes to the bench in favor of Reichel. And across the line is Sullivan into the corner. He's held up. And Krupa ties up his man. San Jose with Gladly take the face-off here. Larionov waiting for it. It comes loose to Sullivan. Sullivan in back of the net. Odgers has lost his stick. Goes and gets it. Nylander to Sullivan. Still fighting for that puck. Nylander comes out of the scrum. In the corner. Larionov on him. Gets a pick from Sullivan. Still with it. Nylander trying to center. Leaves it in the corner for Zalapski. The back pass for Sullivan was intercepted to the line, but not out. Nylander gets the shot in. That was blocked in front by Odgers and cleared down the ice by San Jose. As Chason back to touch it. Face-off back in the Shark zone. 1-0 San Jose.
Flaherty shows so far for San Jose. Wade's made 5 saves early before this goal by Pat Balloon. A great play by Craig Janney to kick it ahead. Jamie.
4-1 Vancouver?
No.
Yeah.
Back with a Stanley Cup update from the Kiel Center in St. Louis. Vancouver leading 4-1. Ian LaPerriere steals it, beats to Denis Chassé. His first of the Stanley Cup playoffs, cuts the deficit to 2 in St. Louis.
All right, Ron, and here it's 1-0 San Jose leading Calgary. On the goal by Pat Falloon at 6:50. Janney, the man who set him up so neatly, in back of the net. Along with Falloon. Comes to an open corner. Giving chase is Baker, decides to back up as Chason goes to safety. San Jose sends just that one man high.
They've got the lead. They've got 4 men back. Calgary is going to have to dump that puck in. They're going to have no luck whatsoever entering that Shark zone with speed.
Thrown in, couldn't clear it around the boards. It was blocked. Cronin looks to take Titoff out of the play, still fighting for it with some help from Baker.
With 1 period to go in Calgary, the Flames trail the San Jose Sharks by 1. Third period action is coming up from the Saddle Dome. 20 minutes left in the Flames season. We'll see. Molson Hockey Net in Canada on CBC continues after this.
Created a lot of scoring chances and they finally put one in, and we're still up 2-1 and we have to focus now. We're 20 minutes away from one of the biggest wins in the franchise history, so we have to really focus a lot in the dressing room and come out hard for the last 20 minutes.
What did you guys plan on doing coming into this game, and have you done that pretty much to perfection?
I think we've been playing a pretty good game. We had some letdowns, and you're not going to play a perfect game every night, and or for 60 minutes. You're going to make some mistakes. That's part of hockey. So we just have to try to eliminate them in the third period, and we also have to be ready because we're probably going to get some scoring chances, and we have to be ready to put the puck in the net and keep going on offense too.
Thanks and good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, perhaps the biggest mistake in that second period wasn't made by either the Sharks or the Flames. Unfortunately, it was a puck that hit the skate of Carey Fraser, which led to the San Jose Sharks' second goal. That was a bad break for Calgary, and it just seems to be sometimes in the history of the playoffs the way things have gone for the Calgary Flames.
Well, the thing about Calgary is that they have to make their own breaks, really. And if you take a look at that scoring summary, you see that the Calgary Flames have generated a lot of shots, but look at the scoring chances. Pretty much even in tonight's game, and I think both goaltenders have been extremely sharp in this game. Very tough game for both goalies to come up with. We're going to see a couple of examples of that right now. First, from Trevor Kidd, and he really started that second period strongly. A couple of key saves early. First, off of Craig Janney. Good positional save by Trevor Kidd, and then later on we'll see Trevor Kidd at his best perhaps in this series. Look how aggressively he moves out to the top of the goal crease, gets in great position for the save off of Jamie Baker. The best save, of course, by Wade Flaherty was on the breakaway by Robert Reichel. This really turned around the game. Flaherty makes this save, and then the Sharks came right down the ice and scored the second goal. They were up 2-0 at that point. Flaherty also a pretty good save off of Steve Chason. Look how aggressive the goalkeeper is out in front of that goal crease.
And you're right, it was after that save on Reichel that Larionov picked up a loose puck from Whitney as he grabbed it off of the skate of Carey Fraser. And then they were able to grab a 2-0 lead before Calgary scored late. But what a boost for the Flames to get that late goal. You can hear the crowd behind us even now. They're ready for this third period.
And I think that Calgary has to learn from that late goal. San Jose is going to continue to bottle up the neutral zone. They can't expect to get any 2-on-1s or 3-on-2s. They got to have players driving to the net. They got to score ugly goals, so be it.
Well, that second period, a much better played period than the first period of play, and we're looking forward to a terrific third. Stay with us. The Sharks leading the Flames by a goal after 40 minutes. Calgary Flames by a score of 2-1, but the Flames have outshot San Jose 23-11. Paul Cruz, the man who got the Calgary Flames on the board. We welcome viewers who are watching the Vancouver Canucks and the St. Louis Blues. Vancouver beating St. Louis 5-3 to advance to round number 2. The fans here at the Saddledome hoping their Calgary Flames can do likewise, needing a goal to get even in this third period of play. With San Jose out in front 2-1, the Sharks had a 2-0 lead in the second period. Falloon in the first. Larionov scored after a puck hit the skate of Carey Fraser in the second. Here's Jamie Baker, the shot. Save made, score! Pat Falloon with his second of the night. That's not what Dave King wanted. He wanted a better start to the period, but now it's San Jose out in front by 2.
Well, the Flames defense is going to get way too puck focused, and Pat Falloon is able to capitalize on the rebound. I'll tell you what a start to this third period. We've talked a lot about how important it is the last 2 and the first 2 minutes of each period, but this series hasn't made any sense whatsoever. Pat Falloon gets the insurance marker for the Sharks.
Falloon is third of the playoffs from Baker and Janney at just 19 seconds in. Yeah, we thought prior to tonight we were beating that to death about early goals. Here's Reichel in front. Great save, Flaherty! What a save by Wade Flaherty. A terrific chance in front for Ronnie Stern, but he was up to par to stop that deflection.
First, we're going to take a look at that Pat Falloon goal. Nice little play by Craig Janney. Look how he outlets to the winger. Right off the bat, Baker takes the shot, and look at Falloon. He is wide open. Steve Chason and Ronnie Stern unable to reach Pat Falloon before he gets that rebound. And look at the Flames. They go right back onto the attack, and a bang-bang play. 2 terrific saves by Wade Flaherty to preserve the 2-goal margin.
Pat Falloon from Janney and Baker opened the scoring at 6:50 of the first, and they opened the scoring at 19 seconds of this third period to put San Jose up by 2 goals, and the Sharks have been outshot 25-13, but boy, they've made the most of their chances tonight.
See, I told you things were going to be real tight in the third period.
Shot into the zone, Trevor Kidd around the boards. That's what always happens. They heard you say it. Back to the point. Peterson behind the goal. Dahlin is bumped. Comes around to the near boards. Patrick gets it out across the line. Taken by Peterson to Dahlin. Off his skate. Frank Musil bumps him, allowing Joel Otto to turn. Up with Cruz and Kennedy. Cruz takes the pass into the slot. The backhand deflected high and over top of the net and up into the seats behind Wade Flaherty.
Let's take a look at some of the ice time stories in tonight's game. Theo Fleury's been out there for 14 minutes or more. You expect that in this third period, perhaps you'll log about another 10 minutes or so. With Nieuwendyk and Craig Janney, you see how much ice time Craig Janney has logged in this game. Constantine has recognized that he has really stepped up the pace of his game, and he's got him out there almost every second shift. Big Joe, well, again, he's nursing a very tender back, but he is going to have to respond in this third period if the Flames are going to draw even.
Craig Janney didn't play up to par the first 5 games of this series.
Certainly been a much different Craig Janney in the past 2 games. 2 brilliant individual goals in Game 6 that allowed the Sharks to take that victory. And tonight, of course, again, Janney has been very prominent as well. And you can just tell every time he gets hold of that puck, he's skating as soon as he gets it. Usually that's a good indication of when players are on their game. If they're moving their feet through the neutral zone, they want that puck.
I'd like to remind stations along the network, our next commercial break number 19. Break number 19 will be the next one for our stations along the network.
Theron Fleury, long shot in. Flaherty will leave it for Jim Kite. To Jason Moore's defense partner. Up the boards. Makarov, though, doesn't clear it out. Kesmer able to hold it in. Knocked down by Moore. Off the boards, and this time able to clear the zone as Phil Housley gives chase.
Those battles along the wall so important when you're protecting a lead, and the Sharks are doing a tremendous job of working that puck out of the zone.
Turned at center. Game. San Jose can't clear. Theron Fleury hauled down. Slow to get up. No penalty from Kerry Fraser, who's called just 2 tonight, both against Calgary. As Fraser has let the two teams play. And he got in the way of one of the goals as Whitney brought it in offside. And look at Theron Fleury, is he irate with referee Kerry Fraser, and not just for the call not made when he was dumped, but obviously it harkens back to that second period when the outlet attempt from Calgary hit Fraser's skate. Whitney picked it up and gave it to Larionov.
Fleury very frustrated at this point in the hockey game. Here's what he's upset about. Makarov clips him a little bit with the high stick, and Fleury pulls a Baryshnikov there and falls down to the ice. Referee Kerry Fraser does not buy into it. And a very consistent call from Kerry Fraser, and that is he hasn't called much.
Back to the point it comes. The shot in from Ozelinch, and Trevor Kidd is out to stop it, and he'll hang on.
At what point in the game do the Calgary Flames defense get very actively involved in the offense? Sandis Ozelinch is a guy who's not afraid to jump up into the play. But you want to believe that Constantine will put the reins on Ozelinch for the remainder of this third period.
Trevor Kidd came way out to stop that shot from Sandis Ozelinch. He's got a terrific shot, the 30th overall pick. 1991, his 26 goals last year, second only to Al McGinnis. Ronnie Stern got it ahead to Reichel. He's up with T-top. Reichel long shot went wide of the net. Ozelinch got it up the boards, but not out. Then Jamie Baker picks it up. Gets it ahead to Janney, who just tied up Solapsky. T-top trying to turn with it. He can't get anywhere. And Chiasson backs up to Solapsky. Head to Chiasson. Stepping across center. Reichel along the near wall. He goes down along with a Shark player in the corner. Chris Tansel as the puck comes back to center. Solapsky tried a cross-ice pass. That was tipped by Falloon, but goes to Chiasson. Gives it to Solapsky. 3-1. San Jose leading Calgary. 16:45 to go in this regulation time. Third period. Otto in the corner, bumped by Peterson. Gets it to Kennedy. Around back of the net. Too far for Otto. James Patrick pinching in deep. Housley does as well to Otto. Housley, side of the net. Housley trying to stuff it home. Flaherty got over there. And he'll hang on as a good play by Bill Housley rushing in on the play as tempers flare. It's 3-1 San Jose. He has to.
No other option at this point. Terrific save by Wade Flaherty. Shows good lateral movement, protecting that short side on the wraparound by Housley. The Flames have to bring that puck right into the crease and send bodies to the front of the net.
Joel Otto on the draw against Baker. The quick shot that deflected as Cruz took it, and it goes up into the seats. So we'll have another face-off. As Paul Cruz, we look at, he got the Flames' only goal late in that second period.
And Cruz is a guy who's not afraid to go into the traffic and pay the price in front of the opposition's net. He could lock a considerable amount of ice time in the third period as well.
On the draw again, Cruz controls that puck. Cruz tries to get in front of the net. Housley had pinched in, and it goes back to his defensive position. Tansel is hit hard into the boards as Cruz was on the move. Then Kennedy gives Tansel a bump. Dolan's shot is stopped by Trevor Kidd. Housley will lead Calgary out. Pass off the boards to Otto. Up with Cruz and Kennedy. Cruz left wing side around Peterson. Peterson, no good job to shove him off the puck. Otto in front, scores! Sheldon Kennedy, his third goal of these playoffs, and what a huge one this is.
It's another terrific pass by Joel Otto, who fights off a check behind the net and manages to slip that puck out in front to Kennedy, and Kennedy does not waste any time. Look at the quick release by Sheldon Kennedy, right through the legs of Jeff Friesen, between the arm and the body of Wade Flaherty. The Flames are back in this hockey game.
They're trailing it now 3-2. That scoring play, Kennedy from Otto and Cruz at 4:14. Lots of time left. Fleury, back of the net. Around Sullivan, trying to bang it in front. On the puck, Nieuwendyk points. Zalapski shot through. That just missed on the stick side. Makarov cleared it to the line and just out. Whitney hounding Zalapski. But Sullivan is back to take it.
And right now, Calgary has so much traffic in front of Wade Flaherty, he had no idea where that puck was when it went back out to the points. Smart play by the Calgary defense just to snap that puck through to the crease area.
This huge crowd at the Saddledome back into this hockey game. The Flames have outshot the Sharks 28-16, but trailed by a goal. Here's Theron Fleury. Fleury across the line, crosses with Nieuwendyk. Fleury turning. Gets the shot through, deflected wide of the goal. Came in front of the net as Flaherty couldn't play it, and San Jose will clear it out to center. On it is Patrick. The Sharks making changes. Quickly, Calgary gets that puck in deep. Off the boards to the line. Housley moved in to keep it in. T-top on the far side. Back of the net is Stern. Podravsky takes it. In the corner, Fraser trying to get out of the way this time. Reichel trying to poke that puck free. So is Ozolich. It comes free. T-top goes down. Falloon, the 2-goal scorer, waiting for it. Ozolich ties up his man, and Rafty does likewise with Stern. Reichel centering in front, knocked away by Flaherty. Hard hit put on Baker by T-top as the pair of 13s collide.
So there is a war going on right now down low in that San Jose zone. Calgary continues to send out the wide bodies.
Give away in the slot. Flaherty out sliding over to make that save. There's another terrific chance there by Paul Cruz as the puck got past Ozolich.
Terrific surge by the Calgary Flames. It's all set up by the body contact. Look at the nice little feed from Housley, and Cruz has Flaherty beat, and Flaherty just reaches back with the goal stick. Boy, Paul Cruz would like to have that one back. If he gets that puck up in the air, it is on to the net, and there's Dave King.
He doesn't like the changes that Kevin Constantine is making.
He also doesn't like the fact that Fraser gets called over to the bench, and that buys some time for the Sharks to regroup. That's what he's yelling at Fraser. Come on, drop the puck. Don't let him get rested. Smart move by Constantine if he can get away with it.
Right off the draw, Cruz got another shot that was stopped by Flaherty. Tansel gets it ahead to Friesen. His pass to Dolan was picked off to the Calgary line. Here's Zalapski. Didn't get across center when he shot that in. Does Peterson? First he does as Cruz belted him on the play. Boy, Paul Cruz has been everywhere. He scored a goal, helped set up Kennedy for his along with Otto, and then just laid on the body.
The Flames have really picked up that physical part of their play. Let's take a look at that last hit on Tom Peterson. Cruz has him lined up and finishes off nicely. That's a beautiful hit. I don't know what Peterson was so upset about. The hands and the elbows were down low. Good discipline shown by Tom Cruise. The much smaller Peterson, of course, is a very available target for those Flame forecheckers.
Well, you might say Paul Cruz is a young gun. I think he inadvertently called him Tom. That's okay, he wouldn't mind that. He looked like him. On the draw, Dolan with the quick shot. Back of the net, Chason. Saddledome crowd really into this game now. Otto up with Kennedy, who tips it in. Sucked by Flaherty. He can't clear the puck. The bounce comes San Jose's way out to center. Chason will send the Sharks back again. Chason, of course, just missed near the end of the opening frame and a long shot in that hit the crossbar past Flaherty. Dolan got the puck ahead to Jeff Friesen. Young youngest player in the National Hockey League, takes one slash and two. Oh, was he whacked by Chason as Friesen has words as he goes by the Flames bench. Kissio giving chase, but Flaherty stopped it. Calgary lucky they got away with what should have been, I believe, a slashing penalty there. Back to the point, Housley. Shot one through, puck is loose, still loose in the slot. Gobbled up by the Sharks as Ray Whitney will bring it to center. Whitney in across the line, can't get through. That's Friesen's glove lying in the Calgary zone. Shot off the boards and hit into the Calgary bench and came back, so we have a face-off. The Flames now within one of the Sharks.
Again, it's the quick release of Kennedy that allows him to beat Wade Flaherty from in close. Take a look at what happened in the neutral zone just seconds ago. We'll get a chance to see it here, but Jeff Friesen, a couple of good slashes on the hand, and I think Steve Chason got away with one.
Sure did. Housley leads it ahead. Here's Reichel. His shot. That was blocked by Ratchet. Back in the corners. Both teams really laying on the body now. With 12:04 to go. In regulation time, 3-2 San Jose. 32-17 are the shots. Favoring Calgary. Flaherty's been terrific. Will he be tested again? Titov shooting, and Flaherty stopped that and knocked it wide. Housley pitching in. But San Jose gets it out to center. Baker, who's up with Janney. Baker, his shot. That was stopped by Kidd. He'll leave it for Housley. As Calgary makes a change, Nieuwendyk over the boards, along with Kissio. Housley puts one in. Nieuwendyk trying to bust through to go in after it. Flaherty around the boards. Kissio first man on the puck. Went to clear it in front. Comes down. We don't see Fleury act like a basketball player very often. He did on that play, and it's offside at the San Jose blue line. Now we'll get a chance to see that slash on Friesen from Chason.
Well, watch what Steve Chason does here. First, he gets a little hook into the midsection of Friesen, yanks his glove off, and with the exposed hand, he goes right for it, and a good whack right on the knuckles. Look at the reaction of Jeff Friesen. Smart play by Chason, but a pretty dirty play as well. Trevor Kidd has got to come up big in this third period to give his team a chance to win this hockey game, because with the Flames pressing, you just know that the Sharks are going to get some grade A opportunities.
Zalapsky up the board, stopped by Kite. Sends Calgary back. Kidd to leave it for Zalapsky. As the Sharks line up 5 skaters across neutral ice. Zalapsky shooting one in. Goes off the glass and up into the seats. So we'll have another face-off coming up in the center ice area. 3-2, San Jose leading the Calgary Flames.
There's Steve Chason. He's had himself a tremendous series. One of the plus-minus leaders for the Calgary Flames. And he's a guy that will be out there. He's got the big shot from the point, and he knows that there is going to be traffic in front of Wade Flaherty.
And when Theoren Fleury got that assist on Paul Cruz's first goal of the night, that was his 14th point in this series. Ties him for the NHL playoff scoring lead with Ron Francis and breaks the record for most points by a Flame in the series, previously held by Lanny McDonald. Here's Nieuwendyk. Gets it to Theoren Fleury, who's looking for more. To Nieuwendyk. His cross-ice pass picked off, and Ray Whitney sends it down the ice. This will be icing as Chason is back to touch it.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
Well, with so much still up in the air in this playoff picture, we do know this for certain. Game 1 of the Eastern semifinal tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, coast to coast on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC. The New Jersey Devils and the Pittsburgh Penguins.
That should prove to be a pretty interesting matchup. You got the Penguins with all that talent up front, and the Devils with Jacques Lemaire behind the bench, a very defensive-minded club, built perhaps for success in the playoffs.
The guy you must like is a goaltender too, and Martin Brodeur.
He's a tremendous young prospect.
Right from the draw to Housley. His shot. Flaherty saw that through a crowd and made the save. Tried to dig it free was Titov. Taken by Jim Kite. Around the board, Patrick pinching in, but took his man out of the play. Another shot in. Reichel backhand. Flaherty made the save, stopping Robert Reichel right in front of the net. There's There's one, Theron Fleury, even though he's not tall in height. What a big man he is for the Calgary Flames.
Well, he does have a giant heart. There's no question about that. He's a giant talent as well. See if he can bring the Flames back.
Right off the draw, shot in front, Flaherty saved, Reichel banging away at it. With San Jose, he's able to clear. Falloon is looking for the hat trick tonight. His shot in, an easy save for Trevor Kidd, and he'll leave it for Patrick. Off the boards, out the center. Friesen stopped it, he'll send Calgary back again.
You notice how those Calgary defense, they don't bother stopping behind the net with a goal to make up. As soon as that puck is on their stick, they start heading up ice.
Here's Housley back in his own zone. He'll bring it out for Calgary. Passing off to Chiasson. Cross ice, Cruz knocked it down. Otto can't catch up to it, and again Housley will have to go back with Tansel on his tail. Cruz knocks it out to center, and San Jose will send them right back one more time.
You get the feeling that the Sharks aren't interested in scoring any more goals. They're just trying to protect this lead.
Feel Calgary just coming on and coming on. Flaherty around the boards. Otto stopped it behind the net. Here's Cruz up by Dolan. Kennedy taken out of the play by Ozelich, who has it back of the net. Otto stopped it along the boards to Cruz. Rapchi seals him in there. To the line, held in. Chiasson back of the goal. Up to the ice, Stern, no call from Carey Fraser. In the Calgary crowd, a large throng on Carey Fraser. Kennedy got the shot away. Save made Flaherty. Knocked it away, came right back to his doorstep. He's able to hang on with 8:51 to go in regulation.
Been very sharp in this hockey game. You see the big discrepancy in the shots on goal. Not so, however, in quality scoring chances. The Flames with a slight margin in that area, 17-13. We have it read up in the booth. You can expect that Calgary will just continue to throw everything at the net. Dave King will be telling his charges, let's get some traffic in front, and he will emphasize the point that the players away from the puck are the dangerous players, and they need to generate speed from the neutral zone to break through the four Shark defenders stacked up at the blue line.
Right off the draw. Shot in, that hit a body in front, goes into the corner. Taken by Titov, a bouncing puck. Knocks it down, Nylander. He tries to get to it. Reichel in there as well as they work it along the boards. Then Nylander, a bad cross-ice pass. Janney's on the loose, takes the pass. Splitting the D, backhand scores! Janney again, what a heartbreaker for the Calgary Flames. It's 4-2, San Jose with 8:27 to play.
Well, those turnovers at the blue line will come back to haunt you. And look at Michael Nylander. He puts it right onto the tape of Pat Falloon, who makes a nice little flip pass to Janney. But what an effort by Craig Janney to fight off the checks of both James Patrick and Phil Housley. And he manages to get some steam on this backhand, and he throws it up and under the bar. That's the save that the Flames needed from Trevor Kidd in the third period, and they did not get it. The insurance marker one more time for the San Jose Sharks, and boy has Craig Janney responded in the last two games.
Sure has. That's his third of the playoffs. Assist from Pat Falloon, who has 2 goals tonight as well. 11:33. Still plenty of time though for Calgary, trailing by a couple. But they'll need one fairly quickly. Patrick to Housley. Lead pass to center to Titov. Puck off the backboards, comes loose in front. Knocked away by Jason Moore. He's hit to the boards by Titov, and it comes to Larionov. Across the line. Larionov wide on Housley, back of the net. Makarov goes in. Bumps Housley as Titov turns with it. Almost gave it away inside the line, then takes the pass back. Kissio moving in. But Jim Kite will be first man back for. The Sharks had just 11 shots after 2 periods, but they've come on here in this third with 20 now in the game. Calgary Flames after 2 had 23 now with 36. That shot in. Wade Flaherty came out to make the save as the net came off its moorings. Fleury put it in anyway. There's no way that's going to count. And we have a penalty coming up.
I think Jamie Baker is going to get a delay of game penalty for intentionally knocking the net off his moorings. Let's have a look at it right here. Nice little rush. Good burst of speed by Nieuwendyk. Watch as Nieuwendyk takes the shot on net. Theo Fleury is crashing the front of the goal. And watch Baker. He just shoves that net right off of the Marsh Pigs. That's an excellent call by the official, Gary Fraser. Opportunity for the Calgary Flames to head back onto the power play.
So Baker in the penalty box. Calgary Flames will head to their first power play opportunity of this night. Dave King hoping they can get on the board here. Still have some time to work to get the equalizer.
We talked to Dave King at length about what the Calgary Flames try to accomplish when they go out there on the power play. Do they have any set plans? And he goes, no, power plays, you really have to take what the other team gives you. So you have to first take note of what the Sharks are trying to do out there on the penalty kill.
Here's Nylander with the puck. Back to the point to Housley. Good job to hold it in. Shooting. Flaherty made the save. The rebound, though, taken by Tansel, and he'll clear it down the ice. Just the first power play of the night for the Calgary Flames. Baker in the box for deliberately displacing the goal. Zalapski. Flaherty out of the net to stop it. Leaving it for Ratchi. Ozelich in there. Puck comes loose along the boards. Housley holds it in, sends one through. Blocked by Ratchi. Goes back to the net. Nylander centered. Scores! Joe Nieuwendyk!
Watch the cute little pass by Michael Nylander back to the short side. Catches Wade Flaherty, anticipating Nylander going the other way with it. And Joe Nieuwendyk has a wide open goal to redirect this puck up and over top of Flaherty. The Flames, never say die, are back in the game once more.
Joe Nieuwendyk's fourth goal of these playoffs. The captain leading his team back in the crowd here of 20,230. It is a sold-out house. Now can sense their Flames coming back still with plenty of time. 6:38 to go. Nieuwendyk from Nylander and Housley. They connect on their first power play opportunity of the night at 13:22. And of course, it was Game 7 last year that the Flames finally sold out against Vancouver. Game 7 this year too. But hoping for a better result. Stern along the boards. Digging at that puck. T-top into the slot. Gets it back to the point to Zalapski. Zalapski shot through. Flaherty couldn't find it. Went wide of the net. T-top on it again. Tries to come out front. That was blocked by Baker. T-top again. Another chance for Calgary. Fire scores! T-top has tied up this game at fours with 5:56 to play.
And here's one that Wade Flaherty would love to have back. T-top is just trying to put this on the goal, hoping that his teammates might be able to get the rebound. But look at that puck squeeze right between the pads of Wade Flaherty. Terrific shot from the net cam. German T-top, a huge goal for the Calgary Flames. And one more time, the Flames have drawn even. You have to give full credit to Calgary. They've really carried the play to San Jose for this third period.
2 goals, 42 seconds apart. T-top from Zalapski and Reichel. The 40th shot on goal by the Calgary Flames. San Jose has put 20 on Trevor Kidd. We've got a new game. Sullivan against Moore in the corner. Moore trying to tie it up with his skates. Larionov is there with it. What determination by these Flames. Whitney works it free, being hooked by Fleury. Puck is loose. Zalapski clears it away from Kidd and comes out with the puck to Theoren Fleury. That's always a good idea. Fleury to center. Fleury across the line. Fleury working through. finally pulled down. Sullivan on the puck in front of the goal, and Flaherty is there. And he'll hang on. He's had enough of this, he says. And hell of a face-off coming up to his right as we look at that big tying goal by this man, German Titov, one more time.
Well, I think that Titov is just shooting this puck into the pads of Wade Flaherty, hoping for his players in front to get a shot at a rebound. Flaherty seems to be in good position. You see at the last minute he tries to bring the heels together, but that puck has eyes, and look at the celebration for German Titov.
Flames goal scorers coming through when they have to. Nieuwendyk and Titov, and again the sold-out crowd in all sort of shapes. Very excited here at the Saddledome. Right off the draw, sent into the corner. Cruz giving chase. Rafji beat him to the puck. Still loose. Kennedy trying to dig it free. Goes down back of the net. San Jose will flip one to the line, not out. Housley shoots one through. Puck is loose. Clear to the far goals. Back of the goal, whacked at by Dollar. Ozelich on it, up to Tansel. Chris Tansel at center. He's whacked hard into the boards by Sheldon Kennedy as it's flipped up into the seats back of the San Jose bench. 4:48 to go in regulation. All tied up at 4.
Both coaches eyeballing the numbers on the backs of the jerseys of the players sitting on the bench right now and trying to get a sense of who to throw out there for the next shift. Calgary really took control when they started the rough stuff in the third period. It's been going on for the entire last 20-minute period, and it really works in favor of the Calgary Flames. They're a much better team when the game is chippy.
Joe Otto flipping one in. Flaherty out of the net to play it. Along the boards and back of the net. Cruz trying to come out front. Otto shooting! Oh, Flaherty down, and somehow that puck stayed out. Zalapski back of the net. Cruz in the far corner, bumped by Ozelich as Flaherty gets his stick back. Kennedy, he lost an edge. Now gets up, sees the puck. Otto in front, pass to him, deflected away by Flaherty. Zalapski held it in momentarily, but here comes Jeff Friesen. The rookie dumped at the Calgary line. Zalapski turning. 4-4 with 4 minutes to play. Tried to feed it off, delayed offside. Now the Flames clear the zone, and San Jose's Moore has it. Calgary just flips one back in. Flaherty out of the goal to leave it for Kite. To Jason Moore. Off the boards and into the Calgary zone. Patrick to Reichel at center. Moore couldn't get it in deep. Chance now for Ronnie Stern. Patrick catching up. Stern fan on the pass in front as Kite hit. Titov with it. Side of the goal, shot one through. I don't think Flaherty saw it, but he stopped it. Titov back of the goal. Wanted to go out the other side. Now Titov pushed off the puck, but Calgary still controls. Slap to Stern. He couldn't get the shot away as Stern's lost his helmet.
No holds barred right now in front of that San Jose net. Jay Moore was wrapped up, Ronnie Stern and German Titov, and those fellas could not move at all. Fraser is not going to make any calls the rest of the way.
I think these San Jose Sharks look tired. At center ice. Lead pass through on the delayed offside, but knocked out by Baker to Janney. Janney's pass, Ozelich was up on the rush, but Sullivan took the pass, 2 lines offside. So the faceoff will come back inside the Calgary line with 2:39 to play, and we're tied 4-4. What a game. This man has had a game. Theron Fleury, the word fits for him. He is a giant tonight.
No question about it. He just made an incredible play, intercepting a pass intended for Sanders Ozelich, who had a full head of steam heading down the right side. Theo Fleury is a guy who can do it at both ends of the ring.
So can this guy, Gary Roberts, who's not in the lineup tonight. Wouldn't he love to be out there, and wouldn't the Flames love to have him? And he's been traveling with Calgary throughout the playoffs, just wanting to sense all this and hoping, urging this Calgary Flames on to round number 2. And Flames fans know how long it's been since they've gotten there.
Especially in a game where a guy can pick up the trash pulls down in front, where those point men are just getting the puck through, is a game where Gary Roberts would be able to shine, and so good around that net.
Of course, Game 7 should
this one wind up going to overtime would be nothing new for Calgary. Won Game 7 versus Vancouver, round 1 in '89, in overtime 4-3, went on to win the Cup. But have dropped their past 2 overtime encounters since then, including last year to Vancouver. Sent down the ice. Flaherty will have to come out and play the puck, so there's no icing. There's Theron Fleury bumping with Baker, but the puck goes to Janney. Janney across the line. Janney slot shot! Sliding in front. Another shot. That stopped in front. Steve Chason Espaloon was looking for the hat trick.
Those Sharks, they kind of lull you to sleep, but every time Greg Janney gets hold of the puck, things seem to happen for them in the past couple of games. Again, watch the nice pass by Janney. Boy, he can move that puck around. Terrific sliding save by Steve Chason. Actually does a favor for the goalkeeper. Here it is from up top. Great overhead. Look at the pass by Janney. Balloon gets the one-timer away, and Steve Chason makes a couple of saves. Helps out his goalkeeper.
So the face-off coming up to the right of Trevor Kidd. Janney with a terrific Game 6 and Game 7 to lead San Jose. On the draw, goes back to the point. Kite, send it wide, rebound right to Tansel, the shot. Trevor Kidd comes up big for Calgary.
I tell you what, I was surprised that Jimmy Kite did not put that puck onto the goal. We talked about the live dasher boards around the base of the boards here in the Olympic Saddle Dome, and they get a great bounce. Trevor Kidd makes perhaps his best save at a critical moment in a hockey game against Tansel.
Face off now to the left of Kidd. Otto against Dolph Dollar. Calgary controls. But can't clear it out. Jason Moore held it in. Puck hit a leg. Here's Friesen. Feeds it into the slot. Dolan after it, but Housley's there to clear it off the glass and out to center ice. Trailing is Kennedy. Kennedy across the line, but offside. Jumping in ahead of the play was Paul Cruz before Kennedy brought it across the line with 1:47 to play. Tied 4-4.
Tell you what, this whole line with Kennedy, Cruz, and Otto has been tremendous for Calgary in the third period. They started to get that puck in deep. They started working on those Shark defensemen taking the body, and it has seemed to open up ice for the remaining Calgary lines. There's a lot more skating room out there for the Flames than there was in the first 45 minutes of this game.
What a third period this has been, and how big every face-off is in a third. And if we head to overtime, and Joel Otto will be counted on. Don't forget it was 2-1 San Jose after 40 minutes. We're now tied at 4 with 1:47 to go.
Otto's a guy, remember, he's playing with that sore hand, and that's his right hand, which is the strength hand on the stick. We've seen him get beaten a couple times in the third period. You have to wonder if perhaps that is having an effect.
Here's Tansel. Long shot, hit a leg. Friesen tried to feed it through. Cruz not out. Ozelinch got the shot into the corner. Friesen in front of the net. Tansel digging away, but Calgary will bring it out. Cruz along with Kennedy. Cruz around Rafji. Kennedy's shot just went wide, and the big rebound all the way back into the Calgary side. Cruz couldn't get the puck in deep. Dolan with it. Up with Lariana. Pass through. He couldn't corral it. Tipped it into the corner. Here's Theron Fleury. To the San Jose line. Fleury shooting, and Flaherty got a piece of that wide. Chase on one-timer. Flaherty made the save, and it comes to Whitney. Hit that puck out of the air into the Flame zone. Zalapski being hounded by Makarov. Doesn't come out. Kite holds it in. Off of Sullivan's glove to the corner. Zalapski digs it free. Zalapski slowly to center, waiting for some help, gives it to Sullivan. Sullivan taken out of the play neatly by Pat Falloon, who's been great at both ends of the ice tonight. Jason Moore. Back to Lariano. Flipping one in. Housley, first man after it. Housley being hooked. Gets it up the boards. Can Calgary get it out to center? They do. Ozelinch. Cross-ice pass for Rafji. Puck into the Flame zone. Cleared out. And we are going to overtime.
in Game 7. Do or die, and for the Calgary Flames, what a terrific third period they had. 2 goals in 42 seconds to spark the comeback to tie this game at 4. And for Game 7, for Calgary, nothing is new. 4 times now in the series in which they've been involved in a Game 7 have all gone to overtime.
Well, it's a terrific comeback for the Calgary Flames. Remember, just 19 seconds into that third period, they're down 3-1. They were forced into the position of having to carry the play to the San Jose Sharks. That usually plays right into their hands, but they were able to overcome. They picked up the physical play in that third period. They were able to force some turnovers down low, and they got key goals from unexpected sources.
Calgary trailed 2-1 after 2, but now we're tied at 4. Shots on goal, 42-21, favoring the Flames. 4-4, overtime coming up. Sudden death overtime. Game 7 tonight. Calgary and San Jose all tied up at 4 apiece. And for all intents and purposes, the Calgary Flames were down 3-1 to start the third period because a goal by San Jose just 19 seconds in. So how did they come back?
Well, I think you got to really credit the grinders. Otto, Cruz, and Kennedy were magnificent in that third period. We'll get a chance to look at the scoring summaries in the third.
Falloon, we had 8 goals in this game. 5 of them came in the third period, and Titoff's tying it up just 42 seconds after Joe Nieuwendyke's goal.
Well, just 19 seconds into this third period, the Flame fans were stunned. Watch Patty Falloon jump on that rebound. Chason can't get to him. At that point, a 3-1 lead. Later on in the period, it's the Flames come storming back. And I mentioned the Kennedy, Otto, and Cruz line, and it's going to be Sheldon Kennedy on the quick release.
And then Craig Janney will get a big one for San Jose.
And it's Janney alone on the breakaway, and a terrific backhand up under the bar. Beats Trevor Kidd, but back comes the Calgary Flames. And this time, the skill players take over. Beautiful little pass by Michael Nylander. Back to Joe Nieuwendyke. He buries it behind Flaherty. And then the bad angle shot. Germán Titoff manages to slip this puck between the pads of Flaherty.
And the story tonight, here it is. The shots on goal. You see Calgary with a huge advantage, 42-21. Scoring chances favor the Flames too. And offensive faceoffs, won and lost, also favor the Calgary Flames. Your experience, Brian Hayward, with overtime.
Well, you don't want to make any mistakes. If Game 2 of this series is any indication, these teams are just going to play it wide open, because you remember there were both teams had great scoring chances in the overtime period in Game 2. You expect to watch and see how Dave King will counter. Remember, the Sharks have to indicate what line they're going to start in the third or in the overtime period. They went with the Falloon and Janney line the first overtime, and Dave King countered with Joel Otto. It's usually a pretty good indication of which style the coach wants to play by what line he throws out to start the OT.
How big for the Calgary Flames is the giant bean? And that man is Theoren Fleury.
But Theoren Fleury, of course, you expect him to log an awful lot of ice time. And let's take a look at the numbers. Over 20 minutes for Theoren Fleury. Of course, the Sharks are countering with Jamie Baker. That's why those ice times are pretty much the same. Joe Nieuwendyke, he's also logged an awful lot. Remember, he's taken care of that tender back, but in a critical game, the big captain comes to the fore.
So we are set for overtime, and it's underway, tied at 4. The first 2 games of this series finished 5-4. Ulf Dolan with the overtime winner in Game 2 for San Jose at 12:21 of the extra frame. Zalapski firing it in. Reichel up checking on Jason Moore. Titoff, who tied up this hockey game, back of the net against Baker. Baker hauls Titoff down, and you can bet Kerry Fraser isn't going to call anything. Baker backhands one, that hit Reichel on the way out, but Jamie Baker gets it back and brings it to center. Shooting one into the Flame zone, Janney on Zalapski. Cruz, who's played a whale of a game tonight for Calgary, gets it into the Shark zone. Tight out to center. Otto takes over. Otto to Kennedy, shooting, but high and up into the seats behind Wade Flaherty. Well, if the Flames win tonight, games number 1 Sunday of the West semifinal, it will be Chicago here at the Saddledome, while Vancouver will play at Detroit. If the San Jose Sharks win, San Jose will visit Detroit. Repeat of round 1 a year ago, while Vancouver will visit the United Center to take on the Blackhawks. Of course, we'll have it all for you. Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC Sunday night. And we begin things tomorrow night with the Devils and Penguins coast to coast, 7:30 Eastern.
And Dave King starts the overtime period the same way he did in Game 2. He sits down Joe Nieuwendyk and Theoren Fleury until the third shift of the hockey game. He gets his big bangers out there to set the tempo and start taking some bodies. Those guys are the table setters for the skill players.
Here's Cruz along the boards, being tied up by Ulf Dahlin. Cruz trying to work it free, but Dahlin comes up with the puck. He's so great in along the boards. And finally, referee Carey Fraser, because they've held him long enough, so we'll have a face-off. Coming up in the San Jose zone to the right of goaltender Wade Flaherty.
Flaherty's played himself a terrific hockey game. I'm sure he'd like to have that goal back by German Titov. When the shots are 42-21 and you've got yourselves a tie game, the goalkeeper has done his job, and the wall, Arthur Zerbe, well, he could only sit and watch.
Trevor Kidd has started every game in this series for the Calgary Flames. Wade Flaherty has started the past 2 for San Jose. Arthur Zerbe had a lot riding on this season. Lockout, his agent, turned down an $8 million deal over 5 years, and Arthur's didn't exactly have the type of season he wanted, looking for big money. Right off the draw to Patrick. Around back of the net. We're tied at 4, played just over a minute of overtime. Kennedy couldn't get anywhere. And out comes San Jose. Sharks to center, Dahlin flipping one in. Dahlin the hero in Game 2 in overtime. It was also a 5-4 final. Housley turned back as Dahlin was up in the forecheck. With a quick cross-ice pass and taken by Cruz. Just deflected to the San Jose line. Jason Moore to the Calgary line. At center, Otto bumping into Cruz, but the Flames get one into Shark territory and make a complete line change. Quick pass for Tansen. Just backhands one into the Flames and Chason with it. Chason with that long shot, the dying seconds of the first period that beat Flaherty but hit the crossbar. Out at center ice, Chason wraps it back in. The Flames have to clear the zone.
The overtime period begins the way the third period ended, with the Calgary Flames really carrying the play to the Sharks.
As Don Cherry said in our intermission, Game 7, sudden death overtime, it doesn't get any better than this. Theoren Fleury to center, Height, wrapping it back in around the boards. Sullivan on it. Whitney back of the goal. Ray Whitney comes out in front, save made by Trevor Kidd. Point, Height having problems with it, flips one through, Zalapski steals. To Nieuwendyk, to Fleury, pass too far, and Fleury heads to the bench.
The first good scoring chance comes to the San Jose Sharks, and a terrific save by Trevor Kidd. He protects that short side against Ray Whitney.
Here's Ronnie Stern to Robert Reichel. Reichel circling the net. Don Peterson has a hold on him and shoves his face into the glass. Around the board, Stern tried to feed it into the corner, but big Mike Rathje's there. He has 3 power play goals in this series. Falloon lost that glove again. Maybe he needs Stickham.
I tell you, the precedent at least has been set by Gary Fraser. He is not going to call any penalties. Remember the early tackle to begin this third period deep in the San Jose Shark zone. The players pick up on that.
Here's Ronnie Stern, take the shot. Flaherty knocked it into the corner. Ozelich sends one back of the net. Now the Sharks. On the puck was Baker. Up the boards, Dahlin can't clear. Cruz trying to tie it up along with Stern. Puck comes free to Mike Rathje. Janney's way out at center. Stretch man on the play. Ozelich, long shot in off the high glass back of Kidd. Chason. They'll turn it back up ice for Calgary. Puck at the San Jose line, knocked down by Otto. Bumped by Dahlin. And more to Kite. The former Flame got it out to center. Zalapski. He was up high on the play. Chason will give it a try now. A sold-out crowd of 20,000 plus cheering on their Calgary Flames, a game they didn't sell out last year till Game 7 and have done so again in this first-round series. Zalapski with Makarov giving chase. Zalapski shooting one in. Flaherty got it around the boards.
Zalapski has just been so solid back on that point for Calgary. You expect Dave King would probably like to have him out on the ice for the entire overtime.
Having Karen Fleury, who's out there now too. Makarov got it into Larry on off. In the corner, Housley jams into the boards. Moondyke feathers a soft pass around to Patrick. Too far for Fleury, held in at the line, long shot in. Trevor Kidd made the save, and with Ray Whitney coming up on his doorstep, he decides to hang on for a faceoff.
A wise move by Trevor Kidd to hold on to that puck anytime it's loose around that goal crease. You know, he was tested early by Ray Whitney in this overtime period.
Absolutely boggles the mind how when the Calgary Flames have to do something, it is never easy for them.
No doubt about that. Much earlier, the best save of the overtime period is this one on Ray Whitney by Trevor Kidd. Look at Kidd. He's not exactly sure that he made that save. He took a little peek over the shoulder. Glenn Hall was talking to me how he really would like to see Trevor get a little bit more aggressive and move off of that goal crease, off of the goalpost rather, up to the top of the crease to challenge. There was another one of those situations where you'd like to see him come out just a little bit.
Jamie Baker on this draw against Joel Otto. Baker wins it to Ozelinch. Shot hit a leg in front, banging away at it. But German Titov, the hero in that third period, brings it to center. Titov wide on Rafchi. And Rafchi, though, seals him to the end boards. Titov not giving up, held by Rafchi. Stern couldn't come up with the puck. Jamie Baker for San Jose to center. Reichel strips him away. Now Rafchi almost gave it away to Titov. Ronnie Stern on the move. Stern shooting, and save made by Flaherty. Puck rebounded back to Stern. Into the slot for Reichel. Ends up in the corner. Ozelinch on it. Ozelinch up the boards. Too far for Falloon. Frank Musil held it in. Turning out in the slot is Reichel. Hit on goal! Oh, save made by Flaherty. Great chance for Calgary as we approach the 14-minute mark of overtime. We've played 5:59. A terrific chance for the Calgary Flames.
Well, Robert Reichel was allowed to walk in all alone on Wade Flaherty. I don't know what the San Jose Shark defense is thinking about here. I know you don't want to allow the pass on a 2-on-1, but look at Rauchi. He just leaves his goaltender out to dry. And I don't know if the save was actually made by Wade Flaherty or if Reichel just shot that puck wide. I know this for sure, that Flaherty made a beautiful save off of Ronnie Stern just seconds earlier. And again, a good, strong positional save by Flaherty, who has been very solid in goal for the Sharks.
Face-off now coming up to his right. Peterson takes a hack from Fleury. Neuendijk on it. Point Musil. Big save made by Flaherty. But the Sharks can't clear. Here's Fleury. Flaherty back to the net, but played around to the captain, Jeff Hodgers. He'll clear one out and down the ice and past Trevor Kidd. This will be icing if Musil gets there first, and he will, as the rookie Sean Donovan went down in chase. And back in game two. Here was the overtime, and the hero on that night was Alf Dahlin. Look at the weird bounce it took. Hit a partition as Chason went to clear it around the boards. Alf Dahlin capitalized on the breaks, and that's what you need sometimes in overtime. It's the strangest thing. You don't expect it to happen. Nice clearing pass. Calgary won the faceoffs. Remember that night they dominated the faceoffs. Won that one too. Unfortunately for Steve Chason and the Flames, hit a glass partition, and Dahlin capitalized. That was a 5-4 final. Game one was a 5-4 final. This will be a 5-4 final. A lot of scoring in this series. We've seen just about everything.
Certainly have. The players will be reminded by their coaches, put everything on the goal. Force the goalkeeper to make the save and go for the rebounds, gentlemen.
Here's Joel Otto to the point to Musil. His shot goes wide of the net. That had Kerry Fraser ducked. Back to the goal. Along the wall, Sheldon Kennedy. Fighting forward in there as they jam it up. Puck finally comes loose. Jeff Friesen with it. Friesen is center. He's got some speed. Puck loose and some skates. Shot didn't get through. Hansen behind the goal for Dahlin. Right through the goal crease as Friesen knocked it wide. Cohen looking to be the hero game. Paul Cruz will outlet for Calgary. Up with Kennedy. Cruz left it there. Here's Sheldon Kennedy. In on goal. Kennedy! Oh, poked away before he could get the shot. Solowski's shot just went wide. And Wade Flaherty hangs on. Another great chance for Calgary.
I tell you what, is Wade Flaherty cool under pressure or what? You don't often see the poke check used very often. Paul Cruz makes a smart play as he enters the zone. He actually ties up Mike Rafty, and that allows Kennedy some space. And he walks right in around Sean Donovan. Let's take a look at it from up top. Look at the move by Kennedy. It's actually Jim Kite. He walks right around Kite. Look at the poke check by Flaherty. Boy, that would make Johnny Bauer proud.
Wouldn't it? Everything on the line in overtime. Big play by Wade Flaherty. 45 shots the Flames have taken at him. Sharks have countered with 23 at Trevor Kidd. Ozolinsh to Rafty. Shot out and down the ice. Giving chase on it quickly though is Calgary. They're trying to get Larionov, I believe, on the far side and wrap it right in along the boards with Larionov scooting in on the left wing side. That didn't work and we have an icing call, and Calgary fans happy that their Flames living to see this overtime period. The great comeback in the third, 20,000 plus sellout here at the Saddledome tonight.
You know, the Sharks just tried a set play. I got to believe that Kevin Constantine plugged that in. Whenever Calgary drops back into the 1-2-2, you saw Sandis Ozolinsh just fire that puck. He had Igor Larionov streaking up through the neutral zone looking for the breakaway.
They're off the draw. Fleury couldn't get the shot away. Puck comes back to him. But Larionov get it ahead. That didn't work for Whitney. Here's Fleury. His shot blocked by Rafty. Out at center. Larionov across the line, but Sean Donovan was in ahead of the play. Offside as Brian Murphy, the linesman, whistled at them.
You talk about gut instinct. How about Kevin Constantine? He's got the rookie Sean Donovan out there on the ice along with Jeff Odgers. Let's take a look at what I was talking about earlier. This is a set play for the San Jose Sharks. Fired down the ice by Ozolinsh, and look at Igor Larionov. He was streaking down the left side, but that puck took a funny bounce off the boards, ended up coming out the short side, and the Flames were able to touch up for the icing call. I have to believe that Constantine talked about that in the locker room when the Flames dropped back into the 1-2-2. Why don't we give this a shot?
Head for Janney. Knocked it ahead to Jamie Baker. Baker, long shot. That missed the net. Along the boards, Patrick to Titov. Gets it ahead to Stern. Up with Housley and Reichel. Back of the goal for Stern. Stern out in front, shooting, and a save made there by Flaherty. Stern on it again. Bumped by Moore. And taken by Baker. Lead pass to Pat Falloon, who's got two tonight. Falloon across the line. Stops. Tried to feed it in for Janney. That didn't work. Reichel at center. Patrick returned for Reichel. Instead, he'll head to the bench. Quick feed out at center ice. Here's Friesen. Good hip check put on him by Steve Chiasson. Chiasson's likely had enough of seeing San Jose in upsets. Happened last year with Detroit. Centered in front of the goal side of the net. Chiasson was a member of the Red Wings before coming here for Mike Vernon. Friesen can't get away from Chiasson. Now Kennedy. Puck stolen by Tansel, right wing side. Tansel in on goal. Save made by Kennedy. Knocks away the rebound at Chiasson. Aaron feed out at center for Cruz. Ozolinsh touching it. Face-off coming back in the Calgary zone.
Terrific end-to-end action. Both clubs really picked up the tempo in this overtime period. I gotta believe that is strictly running on adrenaline. Here's another big save by Trevor Kidd. Good little snapshot by Tansel, but look at that rebound sit out there, just kind of teasing Jeff Friesen. He cannot get to it. Pretty good action as well. Nice hip check by Chiasson on Friesen at the Calgary blue line, and the Flames kick it up into the transition game.
Jeff Friesen, the Saskatchewan native, who said he grew up watching the Flames on hockey night in Canada, and he's so young he probably seen some of those Game 7s that Calgary's been involved in, and now he's involved in one himself. Ozolinsh Knocks one back to the line. Patrick. Lead feed for Nieuwendyk. Fleury racing in right wing side. Checked by Larionov. Rafji in the corner. Bumps into Fleury. Rafji after it. Sullivan. Good play to get it along the boards. In back to the net for the captain, Joe Nieuwendyk. Giving chase along with Larionov. Ties him up. Fleury comes up with the puck. Point. Housley's shot. Fleury got a piece of that to knock it wide. Rafji on it. Sullivan trying to dig it free. Housley holding it in at the point. Left-hand shot on that right side. A good play by Housley. Held in another shot. On Flaherty. Tipped that one wide. Rafji to Ozelich. Late pass out at center. Too far. Rolls all the way down to Trevor Kidd. San Jose changing. Almost caught. But the puck knocked away before it could get to Reichel. Donovan on chase on to Reichel. Up for Titov. Too far. And Peterson will flip it to the Calgary line. Puck up high. Reichel tried to bat it down. Donovan got it into Jeff Odgers. Sharks captain. Up hard in the end boards by Zalapski. Then Chason pins Donovan in there. Odgers still fighting for it. Comes out to center. Reichel and Baker in a chase. Reichel goes down. And taken to safety by Tom Peterson. Got it ahead to Donovan. What it must be for the rookie Sean Donovan to be involved in overtime. Here's Patrick shooting, and Flaherty has to hang on to make the save. Look how far he is out of his goal. With 9:06 left in the first overtime, tied at 4. The 48th shot by the Calgary Flames.
Take a look at the replay here. It's a turnover in the neutral zone. Odgers loses control of the puck. And a shot from the top of the circle. Watch Flaherty. He looks behind him there. He's not sure exactly where that puck is. Well, it was sitting right underneath the goal pads. You have to wonder if fitness will become an issue in this hockey game. Remember, Kevin Constantine has had to shorten his bench early in each game so that he could compete with the Calgary Flames. And as well, the Flames have been pounding the San Jose Sharks all game long, and that really wears players down. Look at Zarli Zalapski. I'll bet he's been on the ice more than 35 minutes in tonight's game. He is just so thick and so solid on those skates.
And we got to look at James Patrick and fitness. He's been battling, the 11-year veteran has been battling colitis of late. And it's not easy for him. He's lost a lot of weight. Cruz, a good poke check. Puck away from him, came right through the crease. Patrick on it again. To Joel Otto. Cruz in front. Otto tries to jam and home, went right through the crease. Flaherty without his goal stick. Lastimil Krupa got out there to give it back to him. Dolan's bumped. Goes to Kite. Trying to get away from Otto as a hold of his stick. Centered in front. Freezing there to knock it away. And Tansel will clear it back to the Calgary zone.
And every time Lastimil Krupa is out on the ice for San Jose, the Calgary Flames just bring that puck right into the goal crease. Krupa is not one of those physical defensemen, and the Flames have been trying to exploit that.
Calgary holding it inside the line. Here's a chance for Zalapski shooting! What a save by Flaherty! He's lost his stick again on that stop. And San Jose able to clear it out to allow him to go get it as he took his stick from his defenseman Kite. As it's icing, it'll come back into the San Jose zone, but Flaherty has been terrific stopping that 49th Calgary shot.
Well, I think Wade Flaherty stops this puck with the knob of his stick. Let's have a look. Steve Chason has a rocket from the point, and watch as he steps into this one from just near the top of the circles. Off the knob of the stick of Flaherty. What a tremendous break. It's actually Zarli Zalapski that unloads that puck. There it is. That puck was ticketed for the top corner, and Flaherty gets an incredible break in overtime.
There you see the time remaining in the first overtime. Fleury shot dribbled wide of the net. Sullivan on it against Makarov. Makarov got it back to Rafji. His pass ahead for Whitney was through his skates at center. Chason will whip it right back into the zone.
And I still see Larionov and Makarov going onto the ice, and they really scare me if I'm a Calgary Flame, because you know that these guys are both finishers.
But there Makarov gives it away to Fleury. Fleury up with Sullivan. Fleury, but it's offside at the San Jose line. Now Makarov would certainly like to get something against his former team. He hasn't done a lot in this series. Benched for part of the game with Sergei Makarov. He had only 5 shots heading into play tonight.
Here's the takeaway right here. What a great play by Theo Fleury. He puts the shaft of that stick right along the ice, but he didn't see off on his blind side. Charlie Zalapski was streaking down the wing, and that's why it was offside at the Shark blue line. Some words over at the Calgary bench, and Theo's a little bit confused by all that.
Well, it was Theoren Fleury after the loss in Game 1 who promised to lead his team into the second round. He's tied for the playoff scoring lead. Can't do much more than that, but they need a win here tonight, obviously, to make Fleury's promise come true. As it's offside at the Calgary blue line.
Jamie Baker has also had a terrific game for San Jose tonight. We talked about Baker. He's really the only centerman they've got out there for every important draw. You know, the Flames have the luxury of tag teaming both Joel Otto and Theoren Fleury for the critical ones. Baker takes every single one. He must be exhausted by now.
Jamie Baker with 19 goals in his first year with the Ottawa Senators, and then signed with San Jose as a free agent. Ottawa will let some good ones get away, and Baker's one of an Ottawa native. Carter Kidd stopped that long shot with ease, and Dan Kesman will skip out to center. Firing one in around the boards. Titoff and Baker a pair of 13s go in. But the puck will be brought out by Jason Moore, and what a force he was in Game 6 to force Game 7. Here's Janney, same story. Passes off, Falloon with a couple of night. Got it back to Janney, centering in front. Falloon missed! What a chance for Pat Falloon, who's looking for the hat trick as Calgary catches a break.
And again, it's a terrific play by Craig Janney that sets up Pat Falloon down front, but Falloon just can't find the handle.
Shot in wide of Flaherty. Sheldon Kennedy. He goes down in a heap back of the net. Krupa around the boards for Janney. Tips it, but not out. Zalapski able to hold it into Cruz. Cruz bumped by Krupa. Kite clearing it around the boards. Janney again can't clear it out. Otto, his shot through. Flaherty saw that at the last minute, and he'll hang on. San Jose looks to tip that out of the zone. Janney on 2 occasions, and he can't clear that puck out. On the second occasion, Joel Otto able to keep that puck in the zone.
I think Otto, Cruz, and Sheldon Kennedy have just been magnificent in this hockey game. Here's the last Shark opportunity. Look at Pat Falloon. He just misses that puck. Seemed to have Trevor Kidd down and out of the play. Here it is again. Little beautiful pass into Pat Falloon and hops over his stick. And look at that. He just fans on the rebound opportunity with Kidd down on his knees and deep in the goal crease. Perhaps the best chance in overtime so far belonged to Pat Falloon.
Kevin Constantine, well, he's been here before, a couple of Game 7s, not in the overtime, but third straight year the Sharks have gone to a Game 7, trying to duplicate their upset last year, first round of Detroit. Off the draw, the shot into the corner. Dahlin bumps along the boards. Puck still loose as Kennedy tries to dig it free, but Gary Fraser blows the whistle. Dahlin colliding in there along with Paul Cruz. A reminder, tomorrow night on Molson Hockey Night in Canada on CBC, Game 1 of the Eastern semifinals, 7:30 Eastern, between the Devils and Penguins. It's the one thing we know for sure, and we'll have it for you coast to coast tomorrow night. The rest, we'll wait until this game is concluded. Of course, the Leafs were losers to Chicago tonight, so the Blackhawks move on, and a big win on the road for the Vancouver Canucks over St. Louis. Rathje. Back of the net. Puck doesn't come out. Now it will as Tansel brings it to center. Can't get it in deep. Cruz bumped out of the play by Oz Lynch as Rathje goes after it. Off the boards to the line again. Cruz is there to hold it into Otto in front of the net. Kennedy just failed on that deflection. Dahlin clears it out. But first man back is Zalapski on it. As the San Jose Sharks change. Look at Fleury up ice. Fleury takes the pass, but 2 lines offside. As he collides with Jim Kite, and haven't Kite and Fleury been in one another's faces this whole series, if it's possible for Fleury to actually be in another guy's face.
It's almost impossible to be in that guy's face right there, I'll tell you what. But Fleury has been unable to get in behind the Shark defense. Here's the last chance for Calgary. This time it's Sheldon Kennedy that just fails to get a stick on that pass across. And check out the bench reaction of the Calgary Flames. Everybody up. everybody disappointed in that last effort.
Theron Fleury's team has fired 50 shots. And Wade Flaherty, almost double the Sharks, who have 26. And the Flames have tied a team playoff record for most shots on goal with 50. Sullivan, bumped by Moore. Kite. Trying to play it off the boards, gets it to Sean Donovan, but not out. Here's Theron Fleury. Fleury in on goal, but lost control as Moore checked. Sullivan tries to center. Moore takes him out of the play, but there's Theron Fleury to pick it up. One-time shot, Nieuwendyk. Flaherty scrambling, and he's out to hang on. But a good quick shot there by Joe Nieuwendyk forced Flaherty to make his 51st save. Fifth base's 51st shot on the night.
We'll get a chance to look at it. It's a nice little pass to Nieuwendyk, who's out high at the top of the circles. He nails the one-timer. Look at Flaherty. He almost cannot reach that rebound before Theo Fleury, who is sprinting to the front of the net, can get a hold of it. Good save by Flaherty, but there it's just out of his reach, and he manages at the last second to reach out with a goal stick and tuck it underneath his own body. And a very impressive showing by Wade Flaherty tonight.
5:10 left in this first overtime period. 4-4, Calgary and San Jose. Face-off coming up to that man's left. Starting his second straight game in goal for San Jose, and Kevin Constantine agonized over that decision. Herbe was his man all year. Flaherty spelled him off at times, and he's done a great job tonight. Right off the draw, the puck hit Ozelin, chopped the shot from Zalapski. Robert Reichel behind the goal. Still digging for it. Reichel gets it in front, Stern backhand. Flaherty makes the save, and everybody in there in that scrum, and Flaherty able to find that puck and hang on.
In this third period, the Calgary Flames started to win the battles along the boards down low. And here's some excellent board work, and again, it's Robert Reichel along with Ronnie Stern and Titov who managed to bring that puck into the middle.
Very close that Jamie Baker didn't close his hand on that puck. That was close.
I'll say, keep an eye on Jamie Baker. There's Baker right there, number 13, and watch him reach out. Boy, oh boy, just for a split second, he did have the glove on it, but he just kind of shoved it back into the goalkeeper.
Wouldn't that be a gutsy call from Gary Fraser? Decide a series?
Well, Gary Fraser's one of the officials that wouldn't be afraid to make that call, I guarantee you that.
Robert Reichel with Titov and Stern up front for Calgary. Chiasson and Zalapski on the blue line. Reichel wins it cleanly. Titov, Zalapski shooting, that's high over top of the net. And comes all the way back to center. Jason Moore. Got it out to center. Falloon catches up to that puck, gets a good bounce. Falloon, Baker shot. That was hit wide. And the stop made by Kidd as Calgary will clear.
It was a good clear by Robert Reichel because Zalapski was without his hockey stick. Pretty difficult to defend under the circumstances.
Flipped in high, Housley batting that puck. Gets it ahead to Joel Otto. He can do that in the defensive zone. Up to Cruz. Cruz shooting one into the far side. Tansel, though, will bring it out. Up with Friesen and Dahlin. Drop pass for Jeff Friesen. The rookie goes wide. Back of the net, centering. No one there as Tansel is dumped and four Flames come out to center. Sheldon Kennedy to Paul Cruz. Back for Kennedy. Kennedy shooting, Flaherty save. As Cruz tried the wraparound but lost control of the puck. Center in front of the game. Joel Otto stopped by Flaherty right on his doorstep. Tansel will clear it out to center. Cruz on it again. Flaherty. Around the boards for Vlastimil Krupa. And San Jose will just dock it to center. Mike Sullivan will send them right back in one more time. Nieuwendyk on the near boards. Takes a bump. Back of the net. Fleury. Centers in front. Bouncing puck. Flaherty knocked it away before it could get to Nieuwendyk, who shoots again, and that was stopped. Nieuwendyk pushed to the boards by Kite. It goes to Fleury. Fleury shot through. Save made. Puck loose. Fleury on it. Puck still loose. Friesen knocks it to the near boards. Nieuwendyk being held up. Fleury takes a hack. Shooting. Rebound in front. Finally, Flaherty grabs that bouncing puck. He'll hang on as Nieuwendyk pleads his case to referee Gary Fraser.
And the Sharks look exhausted out there on the ice. It was an extremely long shift for the San Jose Sharks, and Jeff Friesen had to be out there for about 3 minutes, and he was just gassed at the end of it. The Flames just continue to throw that puck to the net. Look at Jimmy Kite grab a hold of Joe Nieuwendyk and throw him down to the ice before Nieuwendyk can get a stick on that rebound with the goalkeeper out. Boy, I know you don't like to call penalties in overtime, but that takes away a bona fide goal for the Calgary Flames right there.
Joe Nieuwendyk missed the first 2 games of this series with his bad back. Went for an MRI, received some treatment from Dr. Robert Watkins out in Los Angeles. And when he came back in Game 3, had been a road series until then. Boy, did he ever lift Theo Fleury and the Calgary Flames.
Certainly has, and there's one guy who has been terrific all series long for San Jose, Jason Moore.
Ozelich, quick feed out for center. Chason knocked it away. Head now to Ozelich, backs up in his own zone. Trevor Kidd out of the net, has to play it as he saw Whitney coming in. Up to Titov. Titov across the line. Titov cuts to his right to Reichel. Reichel went to center, got the shot, but it missed the net. Back of the goal it goes, Ozelich, a bouncing puck. Comes down, Calgary on it again. Stern got the shot that hit the side of the net. Rafchi ties up his man. Cruz bumped by Larionov. Shots in this overtime period favor Calgary 16-6 with 2:05 left in it in a 4-4 tie. Reichel got the shot through. Puck is loose. Shot wide. Cruz rebound. Oh, hit the side of the net. Ronnie Stern with a great chance hit the outside of the net. Stern on it again. Larionov bumps him. Rafchi tying up Cruz. The Flames have been buzzing all around the San Jose goal. Rafchi off the boards. Good job by Housley to hold it in. Makarov bumped by Otto, but here's Ozelich at center. Lucille plays him at the line. Here's Larionov, his shot, and that was stopped by Trevor Kidd. Housley, lead feed to Stern to Fleury. Knocked away from him. Then Stern just shoots it high and up into the seats. With 1:21 to go in the first overtime period. Tied 4-4. The shot's 58-28. Favoring Calgary. And think Ronnie Stern and both teams are tired. And this man's probably a little bit whacked out too.
I don't know. He's just so calm and cool and collected up there. Here's that last Calgary opportunity. And Ronnie Stern is going to come up with this puck to the left of goalkeeper Wade Flaherty. Again, it's the big carom off the backboards, and he just cannot find the goal. Catches the side of the net. Great work down low by the Calgary Flames. Watch the net to the side of Wade Flaherty actually move, but that puck is outside the goalpost. One certainly that Ronnie Stern would like to have back.
Talked about the wide edge and shots in the game in overtime for Calgary. Chances this period, the Flames have outchanced San Jose. Good scoring chances, 13-3. That's when you hope the bad bounce doesn't all of a sudden come back to kill you the other way when you've dominated the overtime. Jason Moore, back of the net, leaving it for Jim Kite. Lead pass to Baker, to Pat Falloon, right wing side. Falloon shooting! Great save made by Trevor Kidd. Got that blocker out to stop it.
I'll tell you what, that Pat Falloon, he can get that puck away in a hurry, can't he?
Sure can, and now Gary Fraser wanted the Flames to get that puck away in a hurry, and they did. Off the boards and down the ice. Icing waved off. Jim Kite takes a peek back. No, they are going to call it. They had waved it off, but now it is icing.
There has been long stretches of time for Trevor Kidd between shots, and sometimes that really makes things difficult for a goalkeeper, but he comes up with a beautiful save off of Pat Falloon. Falloon, remember, has a rocket. He unloads at the top of the circle. Look at the blocker of Trevor Kidd, just gets a piece of that puck. Face-offs again so critical, and in overtime, Sharks have been doing a pretty good job against the Flames. Calgary has a slight edge, leading 11-8 in that category. They're sending Ulf Dahlin into the face-off circle to go up against Theo Fleury. If I know Ulf Dahlin, I think he's going to try and use his feet to pull this puck back.
And there haven't been many face-offs in the Calgary zone. Certainly not in overtime. 50-32. Flames faceoffs in this game and have control of another one as Fleury gets it ahead to captain Joe Nieuwendyk. Nieuwendyk in on goal. His shot deflected high and wide as Ozenich got over there. Sullivan gets it ahead to Nieuwendyk. Again a shot. Stopped by Flaherty and Jeffries and rebounds, but Housley will hold it in. Housley sends it in deep to Nieuwendyk. Back in the goal. Tries to get it out front, but Flaherty will block that. With just 12.7 seconds left in this first overtime period. Tied at 4. Now here's a huge face-off.
I'll tell you what, Joe Nieuwendyk back certainly does not appear to be bothering him tonight. Very aggressive with that puck. Nieuwendyk, of course, is shooting from everywhere. Probably unaware how much time actually was left in that period. So, as that shift continued on, Joe Nieuwendyk actually walked the puck out from behind the net right into the goal crease, and in those circumstances, he realizes he's going to get nailed. He's still willing to take the punishment to bring that puck into the crease area. Jay Moore talking things over with Jim Kite, making sure his defensive partner is aware of his responsibilities on the faceoff.
Right off the draw, Housley got the shot. Deflected wide, and Jason Moore is there. That was knocked down with a high stick with 2.5 seconds left.
Jason Moore has logged an awful lot of ice time for the Sharks. Big number 4 has a lot more hockey ahead of him as we head into the second overtime period.
So one last face-off, and a game won by Calgary as the first overtime period comes to a close. And we've liked it so much the first 80 minutes. We'll play some more.
I tell you what, both goalkeepers outstanding on the overtime period. Both had to make critical saves. Calgary Flames had a big edge. When they continued to work that puck down low, you really saw the San Jose Shark defense appear to be very exhausted towards the end of that period, and they were just hanging on. Flames continue to press to the attack. Seemed to be only a matter of time, but the Flames run out of time in that first overtime period.
So with no scoring through the first sudden death overtime, we'll play some more. Tied at 4, shots on goal after one overtime period, 59-29 favoring Calgary.
Thanks, Steve and Pat. Think he isn't happy for Ricky Lee, and so are we. Vancouver, the first Canadian team to advance to round 2. Calgary trying to get there. Their hands full with San Jose. Let's get back to the Dome. Brian Hayward's with Ken Daniels. Ken?
All right, Ron, thank you. The longest overtime game at home in the playoffs for Calgary. 22 minutes, 20 seconds. 2:20 into the second overtime period. That was last year, April 30th against Vancouver when Pavel Bure scored the final score, 4-3. Canucks hoping for a better, or the Flames rather, hoping for a better result tonight.
Marked difference now in the scoring chances. The Flames really did dominate not only the last 10 minutes of regulation time, but the entire overtime period as well, and I thought that they managed to control the play along the boards, kept chipping it out in front, and if not for Flaherty, this game would have been over a long time ago. Sharks really appeared to be out of gas towards the end of that first overtime period. I expect San Jose to try and end this thing early in this second overtime, or I think it's going to be Calgary.
All that equipment on. These two goaltenders wouldn't mind seeing this thing end, obviously, in their favor. Shots were 17-8 favoring the Flames in overtime. And the second overtime period is underway. Zalapski, who's had just a terrific series, being forced back by Janney. Round to his defense partner, Chason. Gets it back from Trevor Kidd. Janney, Falloon, and Baker in the killer line tonight for San Jose. They're up front. Michael stopped by Baker at center. Tita goes into the zone. Jason Moore is back to touch it, and we'll have an icing. Jason Moore, former first-round pick of the New York Rangers in '87, traded to Minnesota for Dave Archibald in '89, and traded to Montreal from Minnesota for Brian Hayward. Back in
He certainly has been a dominant player in tonight's game, and throughout this whole series, it's been the physical play of Jason Moore that has really caught the attention of all the fans who have watched him work. Certainly caught the attention of Theo Fleury a number of times as well.
Right off the draw, Dolan tried to take the shot, but Otto tied him up. And quickly, Calgary will get it back to the Sharks line. Mike Rathje. His pass for Tansel, that didn't connect. Housley wraps it back in. Wade Flaherty to leave it for Rathje. Cruz, Otto, and Sheldon Kennedy up front for Calgary as the Flames send 2 men into forecheck. Tansel with Dolan and Friesen. Tansel across the line, his shot into the corner wide. Then Tansel goes after his shot. To the point, Rathje shooting, and that hit a leg. Another shot, whistles wide of the goal, that from Ozolinsh. As Kennedy is hurt, he took that one off the shin. Puck loose in the slot. Dolan, back of the net. Dolan had Rathje open, didn't give him the puck. Dolan still with it, side of the goal. To the point, shooting, Ozolinsh missed the goal. Rathje again, as Fleury escapes, right wing side at 2-on-1. Fleury, shooting, save made, rebound! Never got the shot away as Flaherty was diving across.
Both teams with terrific opportunities in the overtime period. Both goaltenders giving up rebounds.
Here's another break. Larionov with Ozolinsh. Larionov fakes the shot. In on goal! Couldn't get the shot away. Makarov. Side of the goal. Scores! Ray Whitney! The San Jose Sharks have done it again! Round 1 last year. Round 1 this year. 7th heaven again for the San Jose Sharks. While the playoff first round agony continues for Calgary.
And I think you're going to find it's the quick little stick of Ray Whitney that manages to get a little piece of that puck as it was thrown towards the Calgary goal crease. Celebration continues for the Sharks out on the ice. Wade Flaherty over to hug Ray Whitney. And let's have a look. Larionov is going to spin. That's Makarov who just throws this into the front of the goal, and the quick little stick by Ray Whitney with the redirection behind Trevor Kidd. Here it is from the opposite angle. Look at the stick of Whitney. I don't know if it hits Whitney or if it actually goes in off the stick of Zarley Zalapski. I think it might have been Zalapski that deflected that puck in behind his own goaltender.
Let's watch the reaction of the bench as Ray Whitney gets credit for that goal, his second of these playoffs. Kevin Constantine and the San Jose Sharks react in jubilation. An amazing story of these Sharks. Beat Detroit last year in 7 games, lost to the Leafs in 7, go to the 7th game here, and at 1:54 of the second overtime period, Ray Whitney from Makarov, the former Flame, and Larionov does in Calgary again, who still have nothing to show for the playoffs since their Stanley Cup win in '89, and back-to-back heartbreak for the Calgary Flames. Now let's go to ice level, and here's Tom Harrington with the start of night for San Jose, Pat Falloon.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. The improbable playoff journey of the San Jose Sharks continues. Pat, just a reaction, first of all, an enormous victory for this franchise.
Yeah, huge. You know, we hung in there. They took it to us in the first overtime a little bit, and you know, we had 2 great shifts right in a row there, and you know, Witt came in and tipped it home. It was just awesome.
How did you survive that first overtime period? They were all over you.
Yeah, well, Flaherty came up with some huge saves, unbelievable saves. Our D played pretty well, you know, took them out in front of our net and didn't give them too many great chances, but when they did have the chances, Flats really came up big.
Congratulations, Pat. All the best to the next round.
All right, thanks.
Pat Falloon of the San Jose Sharks. Incredibly, the Sharks move on. Calgary turns out to be shark bait once again. Sharks win in overtime, 5-4 in Game 7. We're back with more right after this.
You've got to watch Street Sense. If you don't watch it,
This altitude, you get in better shape, obviously, I think, than other teams. But you know, that still doesn't make up for hard work and perseverance, and I think that's what we did today.
Briefly, Ray, every kid dreams about it, an overtime goal in the 7th game. Just tell me the feeling.
It's unbelievable, especially having it here in Alberta, and I know everybody back home. I know my grandparents are watching it right now. I like to say hi to them, and I think the biggest credit of all has got to be given to Wade Flaherty. I think he played just an outstanding game.
Nice job, Ray. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks.
Ray Whitney, the San Jose Sharks, who win it in Game 7. Ron?
Right, Tom. 21:54, the time of the goal. Pavel Bures came 22-20 in a year ago. It's right at the start of double OT, both years in Game 7. It's just an unbelievable conclusion. You have to feel for Dave King, Doug Risebrough, and the Flames. And congratulations to Kevin Constantine. Tomorrow night, Devils Penguins will have that one for you at 7:30 ET as the Pens try to keep their roll going, having won 3 in a row. Sunday afternoon, it's a matinee. Big Eric Lindros, Big Mark Messier, the Rangers and the Flyers at 3 o'clock ET. And we'll have another game that day. It'll be that evening. The Hawks don't have to go anywhere. They can sit at home and await the Vancouver Canucks as Pavel Bure collides with Murray Craven and the Blackhawks. Quite a night for Ray Whitney in San Jose. Quite a night for all concerned. Thanks for watching tonight, and good night.